Welcome into another edition of No Holds Barred here on the Toronto Sun. Rob Wong and Postmedia wrestling writer Jan Murphy, pleased to be joined by WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Thanks so much for chatting with us today, Tiffany. It was just a little over a year ago you were making your Smackdown debut, and here you are now speaking to us as a champion. When you look back at this past year, how have things gone for you compared to maybe what you were expecting to happen when you first stepped foot on SmackDown?
It was actually crazy. I remember getting ready for media on Saturday, and I kind of never really had the chance to like reflect. And everybody in the media and stuff was like, a year ago you weren't even like called up, and like I was just hoping to be in the Rumble as an NXT talent, and here I am a year later. I've been in the Rumble. I won Money in the Bank, and then I won the title, and I can't believe everything that just happened in 1 year, and I'm just super grateful. And I really didn't expect me to have this great of a year, but I'm obviously, super happy with everything that happened, and I'm excited for the future in WrestleMania.
Tiffany, who've been some of the people in the back who've been kind of mentors to you or helped you through the transition to come up onto the roster and become a main player in the company?
I know we're not on the best terms, but Nia Jax, obviously, she has a lot to do with my progress and just me being comfortable. And she was my travel buddy. Unfortunately, not anymore because I took her title. And then obviously Bailey. Bailey has been a huge help. Naomi. Those are kind of like my three main girls that help me backstage and stuff like that. And yeah, I owe a lot to Nia Jax. She's really helped me the past year.
Yeah, of course, like this is something you've only been doing for a few years, which is pretty wild considering sort of the meteoric rise that you've been on. How are you when it comes to absorbing things? Clearly, you can pick things up really quickly, which is why you've gotten to this point. Is that something that's just always been a part of your life, whether it's gymnastics or whatever, that you just pick things up at a very rapid speed?
I think I have like a little bit of OCD or something because I love to like hyper fixate on things, and like I will become good at something if I really want to become good at it. And I truly think like that's the reason why I got really good at wrestling. And also gymnastics has a lot to do with that. I think gymnastics or just any sports in general is so important for young kids, and it taught me like you can work for something and you can achieve it if you work hard. But I think yeah, the half the reason why I got pretty good at wrestling pretty fast is because of my gymnastics background.
You talked about the Royal Rumble. We're coming out of the Rumble, and Charlotte Flair returned and won the Rumble. I know she's someone that you've looked up to. What is, in your mind, the prospect of working WrestleMania with Charlotte Flair if she so decides to challenge you? What does that mean to you, that opportunity?
So obviously I've been saying this quite a few times in my interviews in the past and coming up and stuff like that. And she is one of my inspirations, and I would love to have a WrestleMania match with Charlotte Flair. And if she picks me, um, I feel like I've always gotten the comparisons with her, and people say that I'm a wannabe Charlotte Flair and stuff like that. But if she picks me and when I beat her at WrestleMania, I'll no longer be the next Charlotte Flair. I'll be the Tiffany Stratton because even the Queen runs on Tiffy time.
So obviously SmackDown Elimination Chamber coming to Toronto at the end of the month. Last time you were here in Toronto, you won Money in the Bank and have since cashed. It's a full circle moment for you. You feel like Toronto is always going to have a special place in your heart because of that.
Yeah, not only is it full circle in a way where I won Money in the Bank, but Elimination Chamber last year for me was insane. I feel like that was my breakout performance. It was in Australia, and Australia loved me for some reason. Hopefully it's the same with Toronto. But obviously, Elimination Chamber, it's a qualifying match for WrestleMania. Whoever wins gets to have a match at WrestleMania. And I'm excited to see who wins, and they could possibly pick me. So I'm even excited for that match in Elimination Chamber in Toronto.
It's Trish Stratus territory here in Toronto, by the way. Did you have an opportunity to see Trish at the Royal Rumble?
I did. I sure did. I love Trishy. Trishy time.
So
Quick
you,
question
oh, sorry, go ahead,
go
June.
ahead, Rob.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, you mentioned your gymnastics background before, and obviously, people love to talk about your finisher, the prettiest moonsault ever. And I'm always curious when it comes to finishers and how wrestlers decide to go about, selecting it. Was that a move that you kind of always had in your mind that that sort of fit what you were looking for, or were there other potential moves that you were considering to use when you were coming up with that?
Yeah, I definitely had that one kind of like in my back pocket. And I went away for a little bit and I came back and I really wanted to try and get this finisher over or this finisher approved. And I showed, I think, one of our coaches and he was like, "Yep, that's your finisher," because it looked so good like the first time that I ever did it. So, I like to incorporate my gymnastics background in a lot of my skills and stuff that I do in the ring, and I feel like that incorporated my trampoline background perfectly because of the bouncing and stuff like that. And yeah, now I do it perfectly every time.
There are different ways in which talent can propel themselves to the top of the card. Sometimes it's through fans. We saw with Jey Uso winning the Rumble. Jay's a guy who is the most over, in the men's division right now in the entire world. I think for you, it's the same. The crowd really got behind you very quickly. What does that mean to you when you have that, audience support, which is so crucial to success?
Yeah, I definitely think you can have everything. You can be good on the mic, you can be a good wrestler, you can be like I said, good with character work and stuff like that. But if you can't connect with the crowd and the crowd doesn't enjoy watching you, or if you're not getting reactions at all, I think that will really hold people back. And the fact that I have these crowd reactions and the people behind me so early in my career, I feel super grateful. And I honestly, like, I don't know why. I really don't know why, like, why me, but I'm super grateful, and it's really just kind of projected me, I feel like, quicker than a lot of other people. And like I said, I'm super grateful, and I love all my fans.
Well, I can say from my perspective, I've watched a lot of wrestling in my lifetime. You are an excellent wrestler. You are one of the most improved wrestlers on that roster year over year. So, I mean, that has something to do with it. As a fan, uh, we like to see good wrestling, and you're an excellent wrestler, I must say.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We have a question from a viewer, Ken from on X, formerly Twitter, wants to know. You mentioned Nia Jax, and now that that relationship is now done, he wants to know if you were to get a chance to start your own stable with yourself as the leader, who would you choose from any brand on the company?
Ooh, I feel like I have always wanted to start a stable, or faction, whatever you want to call it. Maybe Kalani Jordan down in NXT. And then Maxine Dupree. I feel like she's got some stuff in her arsenal that I can kind of help bring out. And I feel like all three of us together, we would be undeniable.
Last one from me. I always like the answer that this one elicits. What's cooler to you, being featured in a video game or having an action figure in your likeness?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I feel like I feel like the video game is probably the cooler one to me. I don't know. I didn't even really know like becoming a video game character is a thing when I got signed, and then when I got into it, I kind of like realized, whoa, that's kind of a really big accomplishment to be in a video game. And people from like my hometown or like people I grew up with are like, "Oh my gosh, I just played with you like on 2K." And I'm like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. And then to see like my action figure also like in the Target in my hometown is also really cool. So they're both really cool and really surreal.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. It's a challenge to pick either one. Now, as I said, SmackDown Elimination Chamber coming to Toronto February 28th and March 1st, respectively. Tiffany, we thank you for the time today, and hopefully we see you when you come to Toronto. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.